Well, Cuba says it has uncovered a trafficking ring recruiting people to fight for Russia in Ukraine. The government in Havana believes the organisation signed up Cubans living in Russia as well as in their homeland. Cuba is a close ally of Russia, but Cuba's foreign ministry stressed it is not involved in the war in Ukraine. It added that authorities are working to dismantle the network. Well, Sorka McLeod is an associate professor at the University of Copenhagen and an independent expert to the UN Working Group on the use of mercenaries. Great to have you with us. Dr McLeod, I want to start and ask, what is it that makes a particular country a target of recruiters looking for mercenaries?
That's a great question. I can't speak specifically about the situation in Cuba, but what the UN Working Group on the Use of Mercenaries has seen recently over the last couple of years is an increase in what we call predatory recruitment. And that's where countries that are not necessarily involved in an armed conflict are turning to other countries as a source of mercenary recruits. And we've seen this happening for conflict-affected countries like Syria, for example, where the countries like Russia and Turkey have sought to recruit individuals from that country to fight in places, yes, like Ukraine, but also in places like Libya and the conflict in Nagorno-Karabakh.
Why would anyone risk their life to fight in a Russian war?
Well, I think that it's hard to say why an individual would choose to fight, but the working group has just published a report for the Human Rights Council on predatory recruitment, and the information that we've received is that individuals who are living in a conflict-affected country often have no other source of income. They're in a poor socioeconomic circumstances, unemployment is high. It might be that they have fighting experience because they live in a war-affected country. And so they see the opportunity to earn money as a solution to their socioeconomic problems. But we also have information that people are being exploited, that people are being forced, put under duress to become mercenaries. We've certainly had information coming out of Syria that is the case. So we see that threats are being made against them, against their families. They're being induced by things, not just money, but also by promises of citizenship for the country, but they're being, there's lots of different reasons why people will turn to fighting. We've also seen in the context of Ukraine that Russia, through the Wagner Group, recruited prisoners from Russian prisons. And again, you have this twofold approach. Some of them were doing it willingly in return for getting their sentences reduced. But we also received information that some were being forced and coerced into fighting. So there are lots of complex reasons behind why somebody will go and fight in an armed conflict.
And in terms of reliability on the Russian side, then how reliable are these mercenaries fighting for Russia? Is this system of recruitment and deployment working for the Russian military?
Well, what we saw with the prisoners who'd been recruited to fight on the Russian side for Wagner in the conflict in Ukraine, the information that we have is that they're very poorly trained, they don't have access to good weapons, and that they're essentially cannon fodder. They're being put in as the first line of attack in the conflict, and so the casualty rates are extremely high for people who have been recruited in this fashion. So it's as a means of fighting, they're probably not especially effective.
Sorka McLeod, are you an expert on the use of mercenaries? Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.